So I have a couple of different ways that I handle this one. The first one is that just when we start talking about pricing in general, I typically use this because that takes away this objection from coming up later. So if they haven't given me this objection, I use this when we are somewhere in the pricing discussion. And it's really almost what you're saying, Marquetta. I just like to use a little drawing so they really get it. So it's just simple. I just bring a piece of paper, flip over the properties over, and say, all right, you guys, by the way, when we list this house and we put this home on the market, we're going to be entering a pool of buyers that are out there right now. So I just make a little circle, put some dots. These represent the buyers that are in the market right now. So when we come on the market, and if we spoil that pool of buyers by being not ready, the landscaping isn't in check, our pricing is wrong, something isn't ready to go, we might spoil this pool of buyers. If they do happen to come anyways, and they don't think we're of a good value, Mr. Seller, do you think they're going to come back if we lower the price later? The chances are not very good. Now, if we enter this market and we spoil this pool of buyer, the only attention we're going to get, let's say we even drop the price later in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days from now. The only attention we possibly can get are the new buyers that enter this pool one at a time. So I just draw it out like that, and so I just use that in my pricing discussion before they even talk about testing the market. So that does eliminate that most of the time. See, it's really easy discussion. They go, yeah, I get it. Another one, now if I start getting objections on that, oh, just test the market. You know, this one is always worked, and it's a little bit cheesy, but it works, and it just becomes a fun little conversation. I go, you know what? I can tell that you really want to price it here. And I just ask them, what are you seeing in the data that's making you want to price it there? They go, well, nothing. We just want to try it. Right? So now they've recognized they're just not being logical. But at least they're honest with you. They don't start saying, well, it's because we've lived here 30 years and we just really love this house. That's what Zillow said, though. That's what Zillow said. Yeah, well, we can talk about that separately. But I say something, you know, and I've used this one before. Maybe you guys have heard this before, but I use the bread analogy. So have you ever gone to the bakery department in your supermarket? And they go, yeah, of course. We go, all right, so you have all the wheat breads. They're all on this aisle. All the wheat breads are all priced at $1. And then you have one wheat bread that is put up here, it's marked at $1.50. It's just like all the other wheat breads. Which wheat breads are going to sell first? Like, well, the ones that are priced $1. So, okay, and a week later, when that one hasn't sold because all the other wheat breads have sold, where is that one at? It's on the discount rack because it's stale. Same thing that happens to your house. If we go looking at houses now, Mr. Seller, and we look at a house that's been on the market for a year, aren't you going to initially start to think that something might be wrong with it? Even though they did 5 price reductions that year? So even though it is priced maybe really good now, and it's been on the home here, aren't we going to kind of wonder what's wrong with it? Why hasn't anybody else bought this house? What are we missing? And they're going to say, yeah. So we don't want that to happen to you. We don't want your property to go stale. So just another conversation I've used, it's worked. For you is that you can see what the ratio list price to sold price, right? Percentage. So you have data. So you have data. Wouldn't it be good if you can say, Mr. Seller, I know you want to try it, but you're telling me that you want to try it at $440,000, and it's really, we're looking at that, I always say it's a $400,000 house, you're 10% off, right? And they go, yeah. They go, well, let's look at what all the properties that have sold. What's their list price to sold price ratios? So, and I bet it'd be really shocking to see any that's greater than 95% off of the last list price. Not since the original list price, but of the last list price. So, and a lot of times, by the way, it's 99, 98, 97%. So you can say, Mr. Seller, you can see of all the properties that have sold, it has sold within 98% of the last list price. That tells me buyers aren't willing to play the games right now. So this isn't your opinion. This is what the market is telling you. So use these stats in your favor. That's a good one, by the way. List price to sale price percentage. Absolutely. And that's just for you guys to decide. Maybe that house does sell in 6 months from now. That's fine, or a year from now, or 3 years from now. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not telling you just to walk away from it. Oh, I'm Mr. Big Realtor. I'm just going to walk away. No, but there is a point where it doesn't make sense for you. There is a point where you do get a reputation for taking overpriced listings all the time. There does get a point where your stress level is so high because all you're doing is calling every seller every week and saying, I'm sorry, we don't have any action. There is a time, you know what I mean? You're just tired of dealing with having a listing on the market for 2 years. So that's up for you to decide on where that level is. And all that time that you're spending for 2 years or 3 years in that example servicing that guy, how many other clients are you missing out on because you're exerting your effort, time, and energy and money on there and you're not getting new deals? So just weigh it all out.